The time blurs then. It's like weeks go by, months go by, years go by, and you feel like you're the same person, like nothing has changed. And, maybe friends have come and gone, but you're just not. It just doesn't feel like living anymore. And it's not that life stopped. It's that change stopped. Discovering and learning has stopped. We kind of stop being in discovery mode and learning mode. We kind of just get into a comfort mode. And is that really what life is? And honestly, I wouldn't like to not think so. Comfort feels good, but over time it feels frustrating. Well, I was thinking this morning a lot. I think it was triggered by something that happened yesterday about how we change so much in life, or maybe not. When we're children, we're constantly exploring. We're learning. We're wanting. Everything's new, so we're exploring everything, and that fundamentally changes us as we discover. Then, when we're teenagers, we kind of get into a mode of confusion, but and self-discovery more, I would guess. But still, we're still learning, we're still pushing forward, and we're still changing because we're still discovering new things. And as young adults, now we're forced into a world where we need to find our path. So again, we're out there researching and discovering, and it fundamentally changes us some more. But then we get to a point where we're stuck. We're like deep in mud or something, where we get to a point where it's, I don't know, is mud comfortable? It's kind of a silly question, but we get to a point where we found a job, maybe we have a kind of a little life going on, and we get comfortable with it. Maybe we go to work, we work all day, then we come home and we spend our time maybe watching a movie on Netflix or playing video games. Maybe we have a significant other that enjoys doing the same thing. So we kind of get in this mode of just being still. And a lot of times that's great. We feel comfortable with that. We're like, oh yeah, I enjoy this. This is what I want to do. This is I like this. I don't have any cares, worries. Nothing kind of pressing. But then the more we kind of move in that kind of life, we start to feel like is this really it? Is this everything? How come I'm feeling like I'm stuck? Like I have like nothing's going for me. Like I'm not achieving anything. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm just here. I'm just alive, and we kind of go between that. And then, maybe we achieve something in a game, or we watch a cool movie and like, oh, you know what? This is actually what I like to do. I'm happy doing this, just kind of coming home and just chilling. And I kind of go to work all day and I work hard. So I deserve this. But there's so much more. There's so much more than just waking up, clocking in, coming home, and following a routine. Maybe we switched up by eating something new, or maybe we go out to eat somewhere, but we're always counting the costs when we're kind of in that mode too. You're like, well, I could have stayed home. But then, it's like the time blurs then. It's like weeks go by, months go by, years go by, and you feel like you're the same person, like nothing has changed. And, maybe friends have come and gone, but you're just not. It just doesn't feel like living anymore. And it's not that life stopped. It's that change stopped. Discovering and learning has stopped. We kind of stop being in discovery mode and learning mode. We kind of just get into a comfort mode. And, is that really what life is? And honestly, I wouldn't like to not think so. Like I said, comfort feels good, but over time it feels frustrating. It feels, like I said, it feels like, is this it? Is this life? You've stopped evolving who you are. So I think you're supposed to change. Take a look at last year and take a look at this year, and see what's changed in your life. See what you've discovered, what you've learned, what you've pushed through, where your story is going. And then ask yourself daily, what am I learning today? What is a story? What page am I writing today in my life story? What can I do to change it up, to learn something, to discover? Maybe you discover something that's like amazing. It doesn't have to be big. It can be a conversation with a coworker, just kind of discussing something that you don't normally discuss, or maybe it's going for a drive in the countryside just to kind of clear your mind and think about things. New thoughts, encouraging new thoughts, encouraging new ideas, and really putting thought into changing your day, your routine. It doesn't have to be every day. It could be one day a week. We're gonna do something new. Um, but then don't let that become your routine either. So, um, okay, my encouragement is start writing a new page in your living story every day. Think about your habits, your good habits, your bad habits. Um, think about change, think about discovery. I think, when I say the word discovering and exploring, I mean, that makes my heart leap a little bit because that's kind of part of who I am. Um, I like to explore and discover and learn every single day if I can. But at the same time, I do have a regular job, but even then, when I go into work, I'm always trying to do something a little fun, no matter how it makes me look. And honestly, if you if you're one of my friends that know me at work, you can kind of maybe you can say something down below about that. Um, just remember, writing a new page every day is like my ripple effect. I like the ripple effect because when you're dropping that foundation, that page, um, as a stone into the water, it's creating a chapter. It's rippling out, and now it's creating a new chapter in your life. Just like when you were young, imagine where you could be in next year, in 3 years, in 5 years. Imagine where you were 5 years ago, 3 years ago, last year, and find out what is the change. What kind of person are you now versus what you were 5 years ago or 3 years ago or a year ago? Are you the same? Or imagine what you could be in 1 year or 3 years or 5 years from now. Do you imagine yourself still being the same? Or are you willing to get out and write that page, build that chapter, write that book? It's a living story. So let's do it. Just my thoughts for today. Because I love to think in this matter, and I hope that influences you to kind of think out of the box a little bit too. All right. Have a peaceful day. I've got to run to work. I decided to do this right before I needed to leave for work, so I've got to take off. You have a blessed day. All right, peace.